Session of the Mayor and City Council will come to order. First agenda item is consideration of a bid recommendation for fleet acquisition, 4 marked police SUVs and 2 marked police cars. Rob?
Yes, thank you, sir. The Department of Public Works has put together a bid proposal for 4 marked SUVs for the police and 2 marked cars. Hertridge Fleet over in Delaware has the state of Maryland contract for the purchase of these type vehicles. The SUVs, fully equipped with all the necessary emergency equipment other than IT-related equipment, comes in at $34,561 each, and the sedans are $29,733 each. In the CIP replacement program, we have funds available through the speed camera, and the cost of these would be $197,710.
Thank you, Rob. Comments, questions, Mr. Smalls?
I don't have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Smalls. Mr. Ricks?
Thank you, Michael. I don't have any problem with this. This is all part of our modus operandi, and I think that it's smart to incorporate some of the SUVs into our fleet. I know we have some already, but I think that it's very smart to do more because we never know when we're going to get those big storms again. And so consequently, I think this time, as the mayor has often said, we have to be prepared, and this is part of that preparation. So I agree.
Thank you, Mr. Ricks. Ms. Crary?
Will any of these be designated K-9 units, or are we that far yet?
I believe there's one left. This would be the last remaining K-9 unit.
Are we trying to equip all officers, or are there a certain amount of months that they travel together, or is that for another day with the chief?
I can answer that if you want.
What was your question, Tom?
Ask it again before
Are we
we're done.
equipping all officers with vehicles, or is there a certain amount of time when we have rookies that they travel together and then they receive their own vehicle, or is that another question for another day for the chief?
No, there's a take-home car policy that they have to follow, which entitles police officers to take home cars once they qualify for that.
Right, that was my question.
Yeah.
Once they qualify.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Crary. Valerie?
Thank you. Just 2 questions. So these are replacing older cars?
That's correct.
So what happens to the older ones? Are they sold?
Basically, they'll either go out to bid, or a lot of times we trade them in for other equipment or vehicles as needed.
Okay, that was my only question.
Thank you, Valerie. Rob, are the SUVs, do they have double air conditioners in them?
Yes, they will all come with double air front and rear.
Okay. So we're taking good care of our K-9.
That's correct.
Okay, that's the first question. Second question is, if I remember correctly, the new police interceptor is a Taurus. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I mean, the problem we had before is they didn't hold up. We had Tauruses years ago. Have they done something better to them? Or are they the only game in town now other than the SUVs?
Oh, that and the Dodges are still available, but the Taurus has been improved over the years, and a lot of them are actually a lot better than what they were in the past. So when they do the beefed up suspension and all the additions because of the Interceptor package, you're getting a better deal.
Okay, these are V6s, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Are these the first of the Tauruses we're going to get into the fleet?
We bought one last time that the police department was using to T&E, and have come back and recommended that we get a couple more.
Okay. The other problem I know they had, is there enough room for all the equipment and the police officer, and put the seat back, there's enough room to throw somebody in the back seat?
The TARS nowadays has actually been increased in size, both in
Okay.
the trunk and inside.
All right. Okay, that's all I have. If this is good with everybody, we'll go ahead and take action on this in the mayor and city council meeting to follow. Thanks, Rob. Move to agenda item number 2. Resolution number 12-17, a resolution authorizing the City of Laurel to enter into an agreement with Prince George's County for the INET.
Good evening, Mr. President, Mayor, council members. Before you is a resolution to adopt the bylaws of the Prince George's County Institutional Network, better known as the INET. I think most of you are aware that we were original and founding members of the INET, and approximately 7 or 8 years ago, when the INET started charging, we looked at it, evaluated it, and we realized that for approximately $50,000 a year, we weren't going to get anything really at the time. So we withdrew from the INET. We kind of set up our own INET. We worked around it, went through to the state directly to get what we needed on the public safety side. Since then, the INET has matured. They've added a lot more stuff, and specifically, there is public safety information that is now put on the INET that we would like access to, and the bandwidth from the internet has been increased to the point where I would like to use it for our cloud backups and send our cloud backups out over that fiber. So, as I said, we've discussed it over the last several months. We sent them a letter about coming back, and this is part of that process, is to adopt the bylaws.
All right, Kevin. Questions or comments? Mr. Ricks?
No questions.
Thank you. Ms. Crary?
No problem with this.
Thank you. Ms. Nicholas?
No questions.
Thank you. Mr. Smalls?
Mr. Frost, you mentioned in the past, and I'm well aware of sort of the ups and downs that we went through over the years regarding INET, but you mentioned a $50,000 fee. What's the fee now?
We have not gotten the exact fee. I think it's going to be in the low 20s. We budgeted in this year's budget. This is PEG money, by the way. This is not operating, it's PEG. So we budgeted $30,000. Greenbelt last year, I believe, was $22,000. We're very close in size to them, approximately. So I do believe it'll be under 25. We'll probably have that answer this week.
Okay. Now, does every member municipality or entity get the same level of service, or does that vary with what you get? I mean, you mentioned a couple of things, but is it sort of a la carte, you pick, or?
Yeah, the service is based on everything. It is generally technology. So depending on where the municipality is in the use of technology, a municipality that uses a lot of technology has more ability and more capability of using the technology. A smaller municipality probably may use just the internet. And a lot of the small municipalities, that's all they use is the INET internet. But they're not taking advantage of the public safety in many cases, or pictometry, some of the GIS stuff that's available. And also, we will connect directly to the state through that line now. So we'll turn off one of our, it's a T1 line right now that goes to the state. We'll turn that off. And there will be some savings. So that line's probably almost $500 a month. So we'll turn that off and we'll go directly through the INET.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Frost. Let me, I looked at the list of participants. So, of course, it's always, twisted a little bit.
Yeah, I think
City of
maybe.
Laurel's not on there?
Yeah, I think maybe that was a little bit. I know that there were some people that were not happy that we left years ago.
Are we on that list as soon as we pass this? We sign
I
it, the mayor
suspect
and I-
that at the time that they will make it known that we want to be put on the list immediately, but I
Right.
suspect it'll be the next cycle for the bylaw changes, which is annual, that we will go back on.
Well,
But we were always eligible.
when you say the next cycle of the bylaws, they're making decisions as they go along. So I understand that committee. Will we be able to participate in making those decisions once we sign this and pay the fee?
Yeah, when we left, we were on the executive committee and the technical committee, and we will go back on
Right.
both of those committees.
All right. And I know our city solicitor will see to that. And as I remember it, on this list of the coordinating committee, every entity has a single vote, is that correct? They're not weighted votes.
Yes, everyone gets, well, it's not really, the executive committee pretty much makes all the decisions. If you're,
Right.
they make the decision.
Okay. All right, so if everybody's in agreement, we'll go ahead and have this on the agenda for the mayor and city council meeting to follow. Is there anything to come before the city council during the work session? Okay, we'll reconvene at 6 o'clock.